on how these two met. Now, I told the story last night around the campfire, but that was a little geared to the audience. So this is going to be more of a family-friendly real story, okay?
Yeah, it has to be.
So just so you guys know.
So we don't walk out?
Floyd and Groceries, if you ask them, they say that they met in the Smokies, and they tell some story about ice water springs and a busload of tourists and all of this stuff. Well, you know, like most good stories, you have the story you tell. There's three of them. The story you tell, that's the story you want others to believe. You have the stories that everybody in here think, well, I'll bet it really happened like this. That's the second story. And then third story is the real story, and I'm going to tell you that. Well, they were indeed hiking in the Smokies, and they hadn't met each other. And Groceries come out at Newfound Gap, and she, as you are a lot as a hiker, she come out to the roadway. And when you come out at Newfound Gap in the Smokies, it's kind of overwhelming because you're coming out of the wilderness. You've been on the trail for what, about 35 miles or so from Fontana, and all of a sudden, tourists everywhere. So you kind of feel, and you're kind of treated like one of the bears. If you're a hiker and you come out, people want to take your picture. Look, honey, here's a backpacker. You know, and it's kind of a surreal feeling anyway. So anyway, she came out and she was kind of confused what to do, and a nice family up there offered her a ride to Gatlinburg. And she had heard about Gatlinburg. It's kind of like the redneck Disney World down there. And so she went down to Gatlinburg, and she didn't really know what to do and didn't know how to get around, so she rented a moped. Groceries rented a moped. And
That's not the way he told it last night.
And anyway, so she wanted to kill some time, so of course, being a hiker, she was hungry, and she went to a pizza joint, and she was sitting in a pizza joint. She had ordered a pizza and a milkshake, and she was sitting in there kind of feeling, you know, kind of feeling out of place as a hiker, and it was full of clean, recently bathed, perfumed tourists, you know. And she looks up at the door, and here comes this handsome, dreamy, I say dreamy looking, kind of smelly, dirty, disheveled hiker who hadn't bathed for about a week and had this giant red pack. You know. Anyway, he came in and he looked around, and Floyd had kind of been on this program because he had left Black Betty in my house, so he'd kind of been on this program where he was trying to build those baby steps, and he noticed Maria right away, and you know, he said, "Oh, look at this beautiful trail angel here," you know. And he didn't quite know what to say, but you know, being Floyd, he kind of did the baby steps over there, and he said, "I don't mean to be forward, ma'am, but I'd sure like to sit down with you." And she said, "Sure." And so he sat down, and they had pizzas, and they had milkshakes. And now this last part I haven't thought out real well, so you might, you might have to bear it out with me a little bit. So they ate like, you know, they ate like about a dozen pizzas, and they drank a bunch of milkshakes, and they really didn't know how to leave this alone. And so Maria said, "Well, I'm thinking about going down to the Super 8 and getting a room. Would you like to go down there and maybe get in a room too?" And Floyd said, "Sure." Marie said, "Well, I'm on my moped," and Floyd says, "I'll try to keep up with you with my baby steps."
nice way to put
That's how
it.
it's got to end.